Well, now for Australia's best surfing. We're at Margaret River, 4 hours drive south of Perth. The reason the swells are so magnificent here is that the waves roll in unimpeded by any land from the Antarctic. When it comes to world-class surfing, Margaret River is right up there. This is a mecca for surfers from all over the world. At first light, you'll find them donning a wetsuit, grabbing a board and heading out to take on the reef break. Huge swells to the south generate big breaks for most of the year, making it a breeding ground for many professionals. One such surfing pro who's been going through this daily ritual for most of his life is Josh Palmatier. Now, Josh, you're telling me this is a small surf, a modest surf. It gets much bigger.
Oh, yeah, this is just a 2 to 3 foot day, Greg. Yeah, it gets a lot bigger than this. You can get up to 15 feet, maybe even 18 feet on this reef here.
Why do the Margaret River surf get so big? Is that because of the Antarctic, the winds from the Antarctic?
Yeah, we get low depression systems down the south, you know, coming from the Antarctic. So, and there's a deep continental shelf out there. It's not very far out. So it's deep water. So the waves just come from those big lows, formed by the big lows, come in. There's no shallow water to sort of break it up. They just come in through deep water and hit our reefs, and yeah, we're lucky enough to live here and get the big stuff.
So what's the ritual been as a surfer?
Ritual is just get up early, go surfing and just surf, 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 really.
Surf all day?
Surf all day as much as you can, and yeah, love the beach, do what you can at the beach.
Another young pro who's making a big name for himself in the surf at Margaret River is Mick Short. He's mounted a camera on the back of his surfboard and is specialised in riding through the barrel of a breaking wave, capturing every thrilling second on videotape.
Margaret River actually definitely has some of the best waves in the world, but it's quite seasonal. I've been travelling around all through Indonesia, Mexico, Tahiti, just sampling some of the barrels around the world, some of the tubes. It takes a lot of practice, and the waves around Margaret River are really, there's a lot of tubes on offer, so you get a lot of chance to practice. So yeah, I guess that's helped me out a lot coming from here, being a local. First of all, you have to sit out the back of the waves and pick off a wave that's going to tube for a start. And then you have to paddle into the wave and make the drop down the face, and then you got to negotiate the tube, get in there. And once you're in there, it's an awesome view, but you have to get yourself out. It's one of the best feelings in the world, I think, and it does take a lot of experience and a lot of practice to get that feeling. So I guess if I can bring it to people that haven't surfed before, that might inspire them to go and learn how to surf.
Margaret River is acclaimed for a host of other reasons as well. There's some glorious lagoons. Their tranquil waters a perfect place to explore by canoe. Further inland, there's a big range of vineyards. This one, for instance, specialises in growing organic foods. The soil around this southern region of Western Australia is rich and fertile, creating perfect growing conditions for plants like rhubarb. Picking that today is Jess Lam-Wan. So, Jess, you don't get it any fresher than this?
You can't get it any fresher than this, no. It's the freshest rhubarb you'll find, definitely.
Now, everything here you've grown is featured on the menu.
It is indeed. That's the whole reason we have the organic garden here. It's to have a nice fresh menu that's constantly changing, seasonal. Yeah, and just sort of to really show our passion for fresh fruit and fresh veg.
The rhubarb you've just picked there will be transformed into a pie like this, a cheese tart, very quickly.
Raspberry rhubarb baked cheesecake, definitely absolutely delicious. Divine.
Other plants that grow wild and naturally are harvested and processed by local bush tucker expert Helen Lee.
Okay, this is leucopogon. It's commonly called the emu's plum because the emus love them and eat them off the ends of all these shoots. They get lots of nutrition from the plum, then it's got a seed inside. You can cook them and you can mix them into something else, and they obviously make all sorts of chutneys and dips and things like that with them as well, but that's what we do today. In the early days, people were just eating them raw off the bushes. Picking the food's fine, but you don't want to desecrate the bush, so it's good to be able to harvest them, which is what we try and do, and make the most of the plant by adding things to it and then preserving it. We don't sell them commercially. What we specialise in is explaining them to people who come on a river tour or to the wine region. So what we try and do is give them a tasting of up to 25 foods whenever they visit us.
Explore the Margaret River region and you'll find delightful lakes, surrounded by row after row of grapes. This is prime wine growing territory, where sublime Chardonnays and Sauvignon Blancs are created alongside complex Cabernets and sensual Shirazes. Margaret River wine has a reputation for distinguished character and quality. Well, Helen, how's this? Here we are in these parallel rows of vines. Very picturesque.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful day and we're so lucky in Western Australia to have this western weather that always comes across with the blue skies.
So much space out here.
Yeah, well, that's my favourite thing because lots of places in the world have a lot of beautiful things like surf and caves and vines, farming and all sorts of, beautiful agriculture as well, but they don't have it all in the one spot. So if you've got surf 5 kilometres from here and then you've got, grapes, you've got caves, you just can't beat it. And the grapes grown from here, the Margaret River wines are known around the world. We certainly drink them in my home of Sydney. Yeah, absolutely, and I think Margaret River got that name because they just kept trying to do something a little bit better, but also we're so cut off from everywhere that although there's a lot of diseases that can attack grapes, we're just that far away that we can keep the premium fruit at such a level that we produce amazing wines consistently, not just one year and not just after 5 more years, but every year something special's coming out, and I think people get used to that and then they trust the name. So eat, drink and surf. And be merry. Agriculture and sheep farming were once the dominant industries here. All over the southwestern corner of Western Australia, sheep farms were thriving. Australia was riding high on the back of the sheep. But the times they've been a-changing. Scenes like this have become harder and harder to find as property owners have converted their sheep farms to vineyards. We're on the property of Merv Smith. Now, Merv still runs some sheep, even has them rounded up and shorn once a year. But the land allocated to the sheep is diminishing as he ploughs up more and more of his land for more profitable grapes.
The sheep industry collapsed in the late 80s and we struggled on until 96. It speaks volumes for how life has changed, more money in the grapes and wine than there is in the sheep and meat. Yeah, but there's a bloody lot more work in grapes than there is in sheep. You get downtime with the sheep industry, whereas you don't get the downtime that you've got out here with the grapes. Yeah, I suppose if the sheep industry had stayed strong, we'd still be sheep farmers. We wouldn't have planted the grapes, but I say we changed the grapes through necessity. It grew to an interest and now it's an obsession.
Next time we travel Oz, we explore Australia's Antarctic territory east of Mawson's Hut, the massive Mertz Glacier, and a flight on a shipboard helicopter. Also, the 2 Tims take us along the Long Paddock.
South Wales. Victoria!
And we walk amidst the Valley of the Giants. From the Antarctic, this is Travel Oz. I'm Grainger. Happy travels.